Happy 2024, everyone. Welcome to Hanging with Drew. It's just me tonight, but who knows? Might have some guests pop in. But I just wanted to kind of go over some of my pickups from 2023. Um, some stipulations I have. It's one, for the most part, one figure from each line. So if I sat here and got everything 2023 that I loved, then we'd be here for a 18-hour stream. And I know some of you would love that, but I ain't got that kind of time. So, who do we have in the chat? Got Jeff Morris. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, bud. Ted's in the house. Hi, everyone. Good to see you, Ted. Who else we got here? Awesome. All right. Well, yeah. I'm going to try not to go 3 or 4 hours stream this time. Just go with the flow and see where we go from there. But if y'all have questions or comments, feel free to just post it, and I'll do my best to read it in a timely fashion. Easier to do when your channel's as small as mine. So when I get as big as the 3POA or Retro Blasting or Analog Toys, I know it's going to be harder. But right now, not so much. So first, I'd like to ask y'all, how was y'all's New Year's? How was your Christmas? Did you get what you were hoping for? Did you get any grails? Did you just have a good time with your family and kids, if you have kids? I'd like to know. So wait for someone to make a comment, and then we'll get into the first figure of the evening. M. Fargo got a dishwasher. Nice. Yeah, I got a fire pit for my deck for Christmas. I am very excited about using that. I was going to use it today, but I decided to stream instead. So hanging with you guys instead of on the deck. But yeah. Anyone else? Bueller. I am married. I thought you were. Oh, that was Tim Fargo. Ted with the jokes. I love it. 200 RDS for my 338 Lupa Magnum. 200 rounds. We talking guns here. I'm not a gun guy. I like them. I support people getting them. Know nothing about them. A lot like cars. That was funny. Okay, I just heard a firework. Someone's still shooting. Actually, they've been shooting them since Christmas. It's crazy around here. A bunch of rednecks in my area. So, anyway, let me do one thing real quick. What else we got in the chat? Where we at? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Boom. There you go. All right. Let's see. Scott Hughes in the house. Good to see you, Scott. Where are you that you can use a... Yeah, that's your gun guy right there. Scott Hughes is the gun guy. Better fireworks and gunshots. We'll get some of those around here too. It's kind of freaky. Apparently last night there was some gunshots in downtown, which is about a mile up the road. So yeah, Ted says kind of boring Christmas year. I'm worth the whole time. I'm working the whole time, maybe. In fact, I'm heading to work now. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I don't want to dox you and ask where you work, but be careful and have fun where you can. Uh, Jimmy says, my property, 40 acres and 400 uh, round range, about to be 600 yards. Wow. Nice. Can't wait to have property that much. My next house. No plans yet, but that's just the way. 400 yards. Okay, I got you. Okay, now I'm jealous. I drive almost an hour to reach out to 100 yards. I got you. Yeah, Scott Hughes is your gun guy, Jimmy. You and Scott can talk guns all day. All right. All right. First figure of the day I'd like to talk about. Now, some stipulations I said. It's one toy line, not necessarily. Uh, not necessarily. It can be in the same line, and you'll see why in a minute. But it has to be. Uh, there's a method to my madness. Okay, so just go with it, and we'll see. It also doesn't have to have been released in 2023. It's that I picked it up in 2023. You want to see a top 10 video? Go watch It's Chad or Embargo just put out a awesome Valaverse review figure video. Go watch that. It's awesome. X Manny has a top 10 video. A lot of people 3POA did a top 5 the other night. Go watch those. This one is my channel, so I'm going to talk about the stuff I got. So, what is it? Embargo says, hiding out my in-laws' basement. Otherwise, I join. Awesome. Well, you have a good time watching. All right, first figure up. 20th anniversary, Captain America. I love this figure. Now, the shield. Let me say this. This was supposed to be another stipulation. It doesn't mean the figures are perfect, in my opinion. A lot of the figures I have in here have a lot of flaws and problems, but I like them for what they are and what they represent, and that's why I like them. This Captain America, I have a bunch of Captain America figures, but the likeness on this one and everything just looks great. And so I wanted to add this one as my Marvel Legends figure of 2023. So, yeah. How many of y'all have picked up this figure? I actually have 2 of them because I bought another one from Sal from 2 Cents Toys. And so I hope to pair him with another group of Avengers from different eras because that's what I like to do. The cap is great. Jimmy says, yeah, I listen to Scott's input and knowledge drops on 3POA and other live streams. I just rarely comment. Hey, we all watch our own way. Sometimes I'll make a comment and sit the rest of the time just listening. Sometimes I'm only there for 30 minutes because I have things I got to get done in life. But I try to be in the comments as much as possible because I love talking to you guys and I love the people's shows that I watch. So much like you guys. Jeff says, exactly. I still like Black Series, even though they are not great figures. I got a Black Series figure on here too, so we'll go over that. I only collect Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Action Force. I don't have the money or space for more than that. Yeah, I was on the Largo's Lair and Wilhelm's stream last night. I popped in the last 15, 20 minutes. Had a little computer trouble, so kind of blacked out there for a few minutes. But yeah, we were talking about how I can't collect many other lines because of the um, just the cost and everything. You got to budget this stuff out. You don't want to overspend, get yourself in trouble, especially with pre-orders. I'm married. Hopefully, in the future, maybe we'll have a child. And I'll have to support them. I don't want to like overdo the budget. So we gotta, as collectors, it's an addiction. I mean, this is an addiction. Um, Much worse addictions, but it can get a little out of hand. And sometimes it's good just to pace yourself. So having specific lines you pick is great. Problem with me is a lot of lines, especially a lot of lines Hasbro has. I love those lines, and so I collect a lot of different stuff. Plus, I like going back and collecting the vintage stuff that I grew up on. So you know, it spreads me thin. Uh, so Jimmy says he's a Georgia boy too. Nice. Uh, we from Georgia. Anybody tell me that movie? A world made of cardboard. Good to see you, bud. Don't freak out, but there's a dinosaur photobombing you. This behemoth? Yes. Why don't we just go there since you pointed that one out? This is my Jurassic Park figure of the year that I picked up. Recently got him probably about a month or so ago. Actually, my wife got him for me for our anniversary. Very articulated. Didn't know he was coming out. He's in the Hammond collection. A lot of articulation in the legs, the neck. The neck is bendy, but only to a certain point. Tail, very much so. So, yeah, I was putting them back so we don't fall. Ah, there he goes. Yeah, I was supposed to get one from Sal. Sal had one that he was gonna gift me, but the problem came down to he couldn't take it apart to ship it, and it was gonna cost too much to ship. And I would have paid the shipping, but he told me there's a better one coming out for the Hammond collection, and so I said something to my wife, and she picked it up for me and gave it to me for our anniversary. So it was an awesome addition to the collection. I love these big long necks. Oh, he's huge. Yeah, he's pretty big. Uh, I have all of them except for the original Brachiosaurus so far. So, you know. Scott Hughes. By the way, feel free to go for 4 hours without any topic whatsoever. We, the people that matter, enjoy hanging out with our friends, despite what some people say. That is, that it's BS. uh, uh, Chronically Online is a great guy, and he's been on the show before. And so I know that's who you're talking about. And I love his videos. He made a video recently talking about random stuff. I think it's more of he's getting a lot of the random algorithm of nonsense videos and everything. And I don't think he was talking about me, because I tend to have a little bit of a topic in my streams, like today. And but I tend to kind of that go when he's or not he. I go on for a while and just kind of go on whatever happens. So this stream has a topic, but we may go way off topic. So, and he's always welcome here too. So I liked having him on when he was here, and I hope he comes back. Be looking like he's smiling. Yeah, his mouth is articulated. His whole head is articulated. Well, can't do it. There it goes. Yeah, I love this figure. if you go on my Instagram, uh, Drew G's Toy Box, or actually, I think I made a reel. I think I already had him by the time I made that reel, but I made a YouTube reel, a short, I guess is what you call it here, and you can see the whole, not the whole Jurassic. Well, at the end of the video, I pan out, so you can see the whole Jurassic Park collection, but I have all these displayed a certain way, so you can always go back and watch that. It's only a minute long, so not too much out of your time. Okay, swig for the working man. Next figure I'll go to is, let's see. Since we talked Black Series, I'll do a Black Series figure. Let me get that other. Mara Jade, however you say it, it doesn't matter. I love this figure. I was so happy that they put this out. In a world of Disney Star Wars, it was nice to see something non-Disney put out. Highly recommend getting this figure. It's a very cool, fun little figure. Yeah, I agree with you. Some of the articulation and looks of a lot of figures kind of sucks and needs to be updated. But this one is really good. Like, for instance, I will show this. This isn't one of my picks of 2023. I actually just got this one. Well, I guess I got it in 2023. I got it a couple of days ago at Walmart. But I got this one. That is not a great sculpt, in my opinion. And he had the weird blood stains and stuff on it. So, no, not good leg articulation. There's like nothing up here to turn the leg. So, that sucks. But I got it because I wanted it. Jeff Moore says, I will have to go find Mary Jade at my local toy shop. I never saw her anywhere else. Yeah, I pre ordered it on Hasbro Pulse. I get things a lot later, but at least I know I'm going to get it. Don't love Hasbro Pulse, but it's easier to get stuff when it's on pre-order because I'm not close to a Target and Walmart rarely gets anything. So, but yeah, highly recommend her. She's definitely a great figure. Has a great look on her face too. I just like that. It's kind of got a Jean Grey kind of redheaded look. But that sits on my shelf at my office at work. So, yeah. Next figure. Let's go with this one. This is going into the Ninja Turtle realm. I only picked one turtle, but being that so many companies do turtles, and NECA's doing probably the best job with turtles, but the turtles that I would probably be on my list, I don't own yet. Hopefully in the future I'll own them. But this figure that I'm about to show you, not my favorite line, but I have been waiting for this style of figure for a long time. And that's the Loyal Subjects Best XN or whatever figures. Now, there is a better version of this figure out there that there's a better version of this figure out there. I think it's like $5 more than this one. I just found these at my Walmart and bought all four of them. I will say the weapons are better and worse than what they were. And what do I mean by that? If you got the first run of cartoon turtles from this company, very gummy weapons. These aren't as gummy. In fact, this one, I went to move it to see if it was gummy, and I accidentally snapped it right here. So it is hanging on by a thread at this point. So I'll be looking for a second one so I can replace the swords. If this fell off a shelf, most likely the swords would break. But I just love the looks of these figures. I have the video games from the IDW Comics series. I read through a lot of those a long time ago, but I haven't really uh, read them in a while. But I've just always loved this look, and when they finally made those, I had to pick these up. So, and I have all four of them, but I just was showing y'all the one. Their heads are a little small. Yeah, but they're that way in the comics too. For this figure or style, this drawing style. I should have grabbed one of the comics. I have one of the comics somewhere that shows them off. They have all four. Yes, they do. In the electronic section is where I picked them up. There's also a Raphael on a motorcycle, and one with a gold motorcycle, one with a red. They're still at my Walmart. I haven't picked them up. Uh, didn't feel the need to because the Raphael I have is fine. If I were to pick up any more, it would be the San Diego Comic Con exclusives that you can get easily now. In fact, I gotta see if Hella Dope has them. They had some at one time. I was gonna buy these from them, but ended up finding them at Walmart, and I had the opportunity with gift cards and stuff. So, but yeah, I love those turtles. So, does anyone have these turtles or care? No. All right, moving on then. Moving on. Okay. Next, we're gonna move over to. Well, before I do, the turtles. As far as the turtles go, the NECA 4-pack that they have out right now, the original turtles, Mirage Comics turtles. I have not seen those yet. Somewhere Tony fell asleep. Oh, sorry. Let me show it. Turtles. Yeah, Tony is not a turtles guy. He was already grown out of that by the time turtles came around. But yeah, I'm still looking for those 4-packs. I had an opportunity to buy them. I didn't have the money at the time, so I passed. But that's just the way it is. Jeff Morris says, I played TMNT video games, but never got into the TMNT toys. That's fair. I grew up with them. The original toys, I had everything for many years. And if I didn't have it, my best friend had it, and we team up. He'd come over with all his stuff, or I'd go over with all of my stuff, and we just play for hours. And probably got some of our stuff mixed up. Same with Motu and Thundercats. That's just the way we played. We kept up with each other of who had what. And our moms were friends, so they knew, and it just made playing easier. It's like having a brother that you played with. I do have a brother, but he's way younger than me, so this is a good friend. World Made of Cardboard. I was the one kid at school that didn't get into the ninja craze, so I was never really into turtles. Oh, I was a Ninja Turtle kid. I had the original teaser poster on my wall. I loved Ninja Turtles. Um, I had the first issue of the, what was it, the TMNT Adventure Comics, and I used to read that thing all the time. And then one day I was sitting outside reading it, and I was playing. I'd read it and play with the toys at the same time, and laid it down because my mom called me in, said lunch was ready. She had made some sandwiches. I went inside and I came back out. My dog had shredded that comic. I was so devastated. Uh, More devastated now than I am then because of the price tag those things go for. Uh, Ted says turtles were at the end of my toy playing time, but had a younger brother that kept me in it a little longer. That's the way I was with Power Rangers. I was a little older with Power Rangers, um, and I loved the idea of Power Rangers, even though I thought the show was very corny, and obviously it is. Um, I didn't understand the Super Sentai aspect of it until I got much older. But the the Power Ranger idea just harkened on that Voltron, you know, uh, soldiers that run mechs that come together to form a kick butt robot. Um, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the fact that they were martial artists. I was big into martial arts at that time of my life, and it just I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. In fact, when the toys came out, I was in eighth grade, and we went on a field trip to Washington D.C. and we went to the Washington D.C. Mall, and with my money, I bought all of the Power Ranger figures and two villains with my spending money while I was there instead of trinkets in Washington that most people were getting. I got the Power Ranger figures with the flip heads um, for my brother. Now, my brother was he wasn't really a toy guy. He was young then, very young, maybe like 5 years old at the time, and so he played with them, but he never really got into it like I did. So when he got older, I took those figures back, and I still have them to this day. So that it's it was a purchase well worth it. Although I do need to find some of the weapons for him. He did chew on some of them. um, but yeah, I just love that idea of mech warriors that fight. That's why I love collecting that line. What Made Cardboard says, dogs hate turtles. Who knew? Okay, next up is a figure that I had as a child, and I have a segment later of childhood figures that I picked up, but that's more vintage. This one's newer. This is the Motu Origins Mechanic with the Road Ripper. I had both of these figures when I was younger, and I played the mess out of them. With the ripcord and everything, I raced this thing all over my house. Um, but when they came out with this pack, I really enjoyed picking this up. It doesn't have the ripcord action, but it's pretty cool. They made it to where you can like replace this with another one to have a different vehicle or whatnot. You can do different things with the neck, but I got the one that looks more like the vintage. I love these. I don't really collect the. Let me get out of my face. There we go. I don't really collect the originals anymore because these just hit the right spot, and I've heard of all the problems with the O rings inside of them and stuff. I do have a few, I have original Castle. I think you can go in my tour video and see that. It's back there in one of the other rooms, but I just really love this figure. And for Motu, this would be the figure I picked up this year that I like the most. Ted says, "Wish they had kept the ripcord in it." Yeah, that would have been a cool feature just to have. I don't know why they didn't. Um, yeah, I agree. Nice. I was tempted to buy the new Motu figures. They look nice. Yeah, I think they're stopping them now and going towards still this kind of look, but they're going to a cartoon aesthetic. Uh, so I'm not sure if I'll pick up those or not. Maybe I don't know. I I could never find these figures. I had to buy this. I think I found this. Excuse me, on Target.com, but like the Snake Man and stuff, I only have the Skeletor's snake uh snake bin figures. There's a bunch of figures that I just missed out on in that line, but hopefully I'll be able to pick them up later. I just got this. I got the oh, I forgot it. The big eagle jet that you can sit on top of the on top of the Castle Grayskull. I can't remember the name of it, but I picked that up and it's over on the display now. So, yep. Check the chat. All right. 9 people watching. Awesome. Big Bacon in the house. What's up, Drew? What's up, Big Bacon? Glad to have you, bud. Okay. Next up, what should we do? Let's do the icon. It's Sting. I love Sting. Hogan and Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair are my trinity of wrestlers. So when this came out, I picked it up recently. I switched out the coat because I love this coat with the red emblem. This was his first appearance entrance jacket. The one that this came with was a straight black jacket, but it had the shirt that said Sting with the 2 bats, which I love that figure too. But I love the scorpion just on the shirt by itself. And in fact, I have that shirt. I should have worn that today. I don't know why I didn't. Um, but yeah, it's oh, who makes this? It's Jax, Jack specific, I think. But it's the AEW Sting. Sadly, he is retiring in March. I want to go to the show so bad, but tickets are ridiculous. Um, but I did get to see him live one time when I was 13, 14. He came to my hometown and played at our basketball arena and beat the hell out of Vader, which was fun to watch. Vader spit in his face and he just wailed on him, beat him with a chair. It was awesome. Loved every minute of it. But yeah, Sting has been one of my favorite wrestlers for a long time. And I wish they made more Sting figures. There's so much. His most recent one with the white jacket looked great. I hope that one comes out. When he retires, I hope WWE and Mattel are able to make more of the old WCW with the better face now, and some of his old school figures and some better versions of the Sting I grew up. I wish I could get some new versions like this of TNA and Impact Sting with like Joker Sting and that kind of figures. But yeah, Sting. Love me some Sting. Any wrestling fans in here? Ted says, I was a Nash and Hall fan back in the day. Yeah, I was. Well, I wouldn't say I was a fan of theirs, um, but I religiously watched on Monday Nitro when it came out. I remember watching the first Nitro when it came on, and yeah, you had Lex Luger walk out, and he was supposed to be over in WWF at the time, and watching that match in the mall in North Georgia. Uh, yeah, and when the NWO, I was a huge when Hogan came over. I was so excited. He came in that Viper, which was one of my favorite cars when I was a teenager, and he shows up, and I was like, oh my god! And then Macho Man, ooh yeah, dig it. I love it. I loved watching that, and then. And then when he turned to the NWO, broke my heart when I was a teenager. I was like, no, not Hogan, not not Hulkamania. That it I love it now. I love going back and watching it, but that was that was pretty uh hard on me. But I and weirdly enough, the Attitude Era of WWE, WWF at the time, I thought like a lot of people in my school were like loving it. They were like, D-Generation X proudly presents the Road Dog Jesse James. That whole spiel. Oh, suck it. And I watched that and I repeated it and everything. And hell yeah! But I thought it was like I thought wrestling had gotten too mature, and even in my teenage brain, the way I was raised and stuff, I love the old wrestling, like the '80s Hulkamania and you know Roddy Piper, the Rock and Wrestling cartoon, um, the Old Spice. Everything else is just civilized. That stuff. Hulk Hogan, all those '80s wrestling and stuff. um, I grew up on. And so when the Attitude Era came in, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like too adult. I was like, no kid should be watching this. But, now I'm older and I go back and I watch it and I'm like, okay, this is tame compared to what we see nowadays. But, and I still enjoy it. Some great wrestling. Um, but yeah, my love is in the 80s and 90s. So Jeff Morris says, I used to watch wrestling. I was always a Andre the Giant fan. Everybody want a peanut? I love Andre. Um, yeah, I need an Andre the Giant figure. I don't have one. Um, I think there's an Ultimates coming out. I'm gonna probably get that whenever I see it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. Haven't seen any of them that have come out. And I wasn't about to buy that Super 7 one. That looks scary. Uh, Jimmy says 80s and 90s wrestling, maybe a little early 2000s. Modern wrestling is pretty bad. Yeah, I've tried to get into some of the modern stuff. I stopped when WCW ended. I was already in college, and I was doing fraternity stuff, and moving on. Went through a short time there, um, where I wasn't watching anything, and honestly didn't see anything until the 2010s up. Um, Probably not until Sting came to the WWE is when I came back and went, okay, let me see. Sting's back. I want to know. And that short run was very disappointing. And I did get to meet him after that, which was pretty awesome. Him and Ric Flair. at I don't know if it was Dragon Con or I think it was Dragon Con, but or Atlanta Comic Con. I think it was Dragon Con. Um, Bittersweet. I enjoyed meeting them, getting a picture with them, have a great photo with them. But for as much that I paid, which I don't like doing anyway, um, I got to shake their hand and turn around and smile and move on. I mean, it was no nice to meet you, not great. I loved your career, love growing. I didn't get that opportunity, so I hope that I can get that opportunity with them. And I do want to meet Hulk Hogan. He only lives like 6 hours away from here, so I'm hoping to one day go down there and meet him. I go to Hogan's beach shop a lot in Orlando, but never in Clearwater. Anyway, yes. As far as the wrestling nowadays, I've tried to watch it. I like Alexa Bliss. Every now and then there'll be some good wrestling, but for the most part, I'll follow on YouTube Sting stuff, and I can't get into any of the AEW guys. I just can't get into them. World Many Cardboard says, "Gotta go. Family's calling. You have a great live stream and a fantastic New Year. You too, bud. Enjoy your time with your family, and come on next time we're doing a stream." So, all right. Well, since we're talking wrestling, let me just go ahead and we'll move on to Mattel, and this one is a little different because it's not just one figure. It is the Mega Powers. Got to love the Mega Powers. Like I said, Hulk Hogan, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I know some people have issues with him, but people need to forgive and forget. And then you got Macho Man with the belt and Miss Elizabeth. I tried to stack them on there, but it's not working. I've had Miss Elizabeth for a year or two now, but the Mega Powers figures came together and in a double pack. I got on Ringside Collectibles, and I just love these figures because I remember this happening when I was younger and just loved every minute of it. So, oh, dropped something. Sky Hughes says the cream always rises to the top. Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah, dig it. Yes, I have that figure too, but I've had it for a couple of years. And it has the little cream in the fingers, so he's posed like yeah. So yeah, love Macho Man. Macho Man figure. Okay. Embargo says, "All right, my wife is telling me I need to come up and socialize. We'll catch the rest of this later." Uh, Michael, you tell your wife it's me who's streaming, and that you are socializing because it's me. She needs to hop on here and start saying hey. In fact, tell the in-laws come on too. Everybody, we'll have a good time. We'll all socialize. But nah, seriously, bud, go have fun. Be with your family. Enjoy it. That's the most important thing. And we'll have to do another stream sometime. All right, bud. Take care. All right. Next up, let's see. Next up, I want to say is my favorite 1/18 scale figure that I picked up this year, and that would be the Desert Rat Action Force figure, or Action Force Desert Rat figure. Um, Never opened it, but signed by Tony, Desert Rat, and I love this figure, and it means even more to me because I consider Tony a friend. Oh, let me move that. Sorry, and it's just it's great to have. Also have a bigger figure of him signed, personalized by him, which I truly enjoy too. And that would be in a future best of this, but I have another one that I really wanted to put in, so I chose that one over that. But yeah, I haven't picked up as many 1/18 scale figures this year, but the I have gotten some vintage Star Wars figures. I would love 1/18 scale GI Joe, but I just haven't picked up any in a while. Um, I need to. I need to add to that collection. Um, Jeff Morris says, "Nice. I also got that Desert Rat figure. I should probably get a loose one also. So tempted to open mine. Yeah, it's pretty. It's pretty cool. I've been tempted to open it, but I don't really collect Action Force vintage. Excuse me. So I don't know. It would be cool to set up, but I just like the idea of having this on display on card. I need to get a case for it for this one, and the Stan Solo made this. For anyone that doesn't know, Stan Solo creation. He also made the Iconicon 2022 Boba Fett that he did, and I got to get a clamshell for both of these. But yes, love this. Tony, you rock. You rock as an action figure. Um, so nice. It's my only Palatoy-ish figure I have. Yeah, me too. Me too. Unless you count G.I. Joe or Star Wars. Um, yeah. What do I have next? Next, we were talking about this earlier, so I might as well bring this up. The Power Rangers line. Finally got the Black Dino Thunder Tommy Oliver figure. It's the last of the figures that he portrayed in the show. They finally released it. In fact, I want to say it's only a two. No, they have all the Dino Thunders. But yeah, being a big JDF fan, um, with his loss, I was so happy they finally put this out. I did get the new Green Ranger with the Morphin effects, but I consider this one. I have like three of those already, so this one just really now it's not a perfect figure. It's kind of wobbly. You know, it has its issues. Still got uh, pegs in it and stuff, but you know, I don't hate these figures. I in fact, I have a whole lineup of them over there. So yeah, go. So there we go. But yeah, Jason David Frank, R.I.P. Still collecting you, bud. Um, let's move on to the very short-lived adventure series, Henry Jones Sr. I thought this was a really good figure. Not much adventure for it, but I do want these figures. So I hate that the line's dead now because I would have liked to have expanded on these, being that I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Um, so yeah, great addition to the collection there. Next up, let's go back to Marvel Legends. I know I've already had one Marvel Legends done, but um, if you look at the fact you have your comics, then you have your MCU. And over the last couple of years, I have not cared much for the MCU. But they did release quite a few figures this year that I've really enjoyed. I haven't gotten the Doc Ock yet, so it's not that one. I did get the Green Goblin from No Way Home, and I have all three of the Spider-Man from No Way Home. But this one is the end of the movie spider suit. Now, this thing could have better articulation, in my opinion. All of those Spider-Man could. Let me do it like this. But it's so hard to. There we go. This is the best look, in my opinion, of the spider suits on film. It's closest to the comics, and that's something I've always wanted with the movie adaptation. It is a comic looking figure. Um, the suit from the first one movie, well, the first Spider-Man movie had the raised black. I grew to love that. I really do enjoy that look now. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 was a weird looking suit. Got better, I thought, with the second movie. The suit looked good, but it had the elongated Spider-Man and it had the big McFarlane style eyes. Looked good. I don't hate any of them, but then when they got the Stark Tech Spider-Man and everything, it just seems so too much technology, and the big black stripes down the sides and stuff was weird. And I don't know. It was too Iron Spider all the time, even from the beginning. So when he went back to basics at the end of the movie, I was like, okay, now this is the movie I want to see with with this Spider-Man and an actual MJ, Mary Jane, not Michelle. Um, and sorry, that was just my rant. But yeah, I just really like this figure. What do you guys think? Uh, that is an awesome figure. The indie line made me break my rule on only buying Star Wars and G.I. Joe. Yeah. Well, technically, it was part of the Black Series. So, um, even though it was called Adventure Series, same team was making it. So it bent the rule, didn't really break it. So you're good. The webbing seems off on that figure. Yeah, it's a little thick. The webbing looks a little thicker than it does in the movie. I will give that. But it still looks good. Uh, Definitely has that classic Spider-Man look, but with their thick black lines. I mean, that's the way it was. It was, especially in the comics. I like it. Now, Amazing Spider-Man had the huge black spider, and then the Mm. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man had a smaller spider too. By the way, hey, Impossible Pie. What did you say? The spider symbol on the chest looks small as well. What, the webbing scenes? Okay, I got what you're saying. Okay, I still want it getting all through Spider-Man, Goblin, and Doc Ock. Yeah, technically 4 Spider-Man because this was a 4th one. Because you have the suit, the one that comes with the 3-pack. Then you have this version, which is the end of the movie version, Impossible Pie. So, yeah. And if you want to get really technical, the black suit, the inverted suit. Um, but yeah, I'm still waiting on my Doc Ock though. That figure looks amazing. And when Laser Pants had it out and showed the tentacles were really stiff but bent really well to hold things, I'm excited about getting it. Let's see. Ted says, wish they had done better job with the Willow series instead of that crap they gave us. Would love a 6-inch line of Willow movie figures. Yeah, I would have too. I probably would have bought those. I never watched the new show, but I heard horrible things. Um, but yeah, I did love the original movie. Yeah. Happy New Year to you too, bud. The Moo. The, oh, the only MCU figure I'm getting. Yeah, I haven't really bought any of the TV versions except for I did get the Baron Zemo because he came with the mask, and I actually put him with the Winter Soldier figures I have, even though he never wore the mask in that movie. He should have. It would have been great, but I put him with that. And I replaced my Winter Soldier in that with the one that re released with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Um, the flashback one, not the short haired, but because it was a good figure and it was very similar to the other one. I don't think I got anything else from that. I did get the White Vision and the Scarlet Witch because they look good. Like if the costume looks good and close to the comics, I'll buy it. Doesn't mean I'm going to watch it. Um, so yeah, but yeah, that's why it was another Marvel Legend because it was the MCU. All right, where are we at? We're at we're just at an hour. I'm about halfway through, I guess. Next, let's go Action Force. Now, what was before I share this? What was some of y'all's uh, favorite released in 2023 of Action Force? Did y'all have a favorite? Can you pick one? I bet many of you are going to have the same one. It was a tough call for me. Ted says, I hear they are completely redoing the Captain America Falcon movie. They adding Captain America to it because otherwise call it the Falcon. If you called it the Falcon, I might go watch it. I love the look of Falcon with the red, white, and blue. That looks awesome. I'm just never going to call him Captain America. I mean, yeah, the comics, I mean, they're too focused on the diversity and not on good storytelling. And it really annoys me. And they did the same thing in the series. And I dropped out after episode 4. You preach to me, I'm out. I'm done. You tell me a great story, and I'm there. You know, Falcon is a classic character created in the 70s. He deserves his own movie. He's had enough built up time to have his own movie. Don't call him something else. Call him the Falcon and have a good movie. And I have a problem with him carrying the shield. He's not a super soldier. He's a guy. He's a soldier that can fly. You know, Winter Soldier would have been the better person to hold the shield. My 2 cents. You don't have to agree, but yeah. Okay. Impossible. Try it again. Impossible Pie says Warpath Eclipse and the Horde Trooper. I agree. Jimmy Purvis says Desert Trooper. Excellent figure. Excellent figure. Yeah, it was really hard to pick this one, but I mean, it also wasn't. Eclipse and Warpath Eclipse are both tied for my favorite from Action Force. Yes. Yeah, yes, Jeff, you're right. Impossible Pie says Desert Trooper as well. Good figure. Yep. And Ted says Warpath Eclipse is fire. Really, both versions are great. The book made me a fan of her before I got the figure. If haven't read it, is a must. Yes, I have the book. I even got Bobby to sign it. So next time you are at a convention with him, take your book, get him to he'll sign it. Um, but I haven't read it. I haven't had time to read it. I have books I'm reading, and that's just not one. If they had like an audio version or something, I probably would listen to it because I can go through it a lot quicker that way. But I just haven't had time. I kind of would love someone that has a YouTube channel or something that could kind of give a brief synopsis, Cliff Notes version of it, so I can kind of know the story. But I don't know what happens in it. I haven't had a chance to read it, but I did buy it. But much like many of you, Warpath Eclipse is my favorite figure of 2023. It was hard to pick. The reason I didn't pick Desert Trooper is because it's a trooper with a different color and a lot of the same. The Horde Trooper was. I'm left-handed, so it's natural for me to hold it on this side. But if I hold it on this side, you can see it better, and it's not in front of my face like this every time. I just keep forgetting to do that. Sorry. But Eclipse herself was awesome, but the Warpath Eclipse just looks freaking awesome. And I love it. And there is a martial artist on Instagram, YouTube, and stuff that does stunt work and whatnot that I mentioned in a stream with Bobby, and he agreed that a girl named Raina Valen or something. I have to go back and look at who it is. I can't remember, but she would play this part perfect in the movie. If she would see this and try out for the movie, she would be perfect. She kicks butt. But yeah, this figure, I don't want to say hands down because I mean all the Valaverse figures have been top notch. But just something about this one just is awesome. I love the war paint. And I love the artwork on the box. I think whoever did that is very good. But aesthetically, I don't feel like it fits. Like, it's, I don't know. It just doesn't, when you look at that picture of her on the box, you don't think, oh crap. You think, oh, that's cute. And it shouldn't feel that way. Not knocking the artist. The artwork is great. I'm an artist myself, and I appreciate good artwork. Do have a little bit of a droop there, but it is what it is. It stays standing. So yes, Warpath Eclipse is my figure of 2023. Where am I at? Ted says, hopefully Largo and Wilhelm will do a few episodes about the look before too long. The about the book. Okay, I'm sorry. Next comment. Yeah, that would be good. I would love to hear someone talk about that. Jimmy Purvis says, I have 24 Desert Troopers, 20 male and 4 female. Wow. I have 4? And I think one of them fell over. Oh, 4 or 5. In fact, one of the female ones, I put the Eclipse headdress thing. I put that on one of the figures. So yeah, I can't afford to buy that many soldiers, and I would love to do that, but space and money keep me from doing that. So yeah. So all right. Well, while we're in Action Force territory, I know I showed you the unopened package of this, but I considered this my favorite 1/18 scale, even though I do have another 1/18 scale and even a smaller. I'm going to show you shortly in a different category. But favorite pickup this year that I kept in the box or on card would be my signed Bobby Vala Bloody Pandora. I got Bobby to sign it for me, and yeah, that right there is my favorite unopened boxed figure of the year. Great figure. If you haven't gotten it, highly recommend it. If it's still available, I'm not sure, might be. Jimmy says, I have limited lines, so more squads of what I do collect. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. As you can see, I'm spread thin here. Ted says, nice. Okay. Next up, we'll stick with military theme. Try not to knock things over. Next figure is G.I. Joe classified. I had quite a few figures I really liked this year, and I could have easily picked the His Tank. I did get it. It's on display right over there. And the His Tank team right beside him. Great. Their best thing they've done yet. Excuse me. But there was something about this figure I just really liked. And despite its flaws, I really like this Crimson Baroness. The face sculpt, the options you could do to change it out. It's just so. Try to get it. It's just such a good figure, in my opinion. Did anyone pick up? I know this is part of a 3-pack with Tomax and Zaymot. And they're basics. They're the same as their other figures, just with more crimson on them. But this figure was the standout. And I love this figure. Ted says, I hope Valaverse comes to the DFW Joe show this year. I'm thinking of going either way. That's Dallas, Fort Worth, I'm guessing. Yeah. That would be cool if he did. I wouldn't be able to make it out to that one, but he is talking. He did say something about another Georgia show. Never heard of the show, Canaan Con or Cana Con or something. Uh, Me and Scott Hughes were like messaging each other, trying to figure out what in the world he was saying, and I finally kind of figured it out. But it's I think they had it in Augusta last year, so it may be back in Augusta, but it's at a different time than Joe Fest. So they haven't set any dates yet. I'm just hoping I have some business I have to be at in Orlando the weekend of September 8th. So I'm hoping it's not that weekend because I won't be able to go if that's the case. Um, but yeah, um, that's where I hope he comes because I definitely want to see him and Laser Pants. And I don't think Tony's coming this year, but if by some miracle he does, because it's a different day of or time of the month, maybe I don't know. But getting to see Michael French again and Scott Hughes and Scoob, uh, all that would be great. Ted says they only had 4 or 5 hour drive for me. That's only a 4 or 5 hour drive for me. I got you. I got you. I think it's like a full 24 hours for me, or maybe. I'm not sure how far that is. It's a good little drive. Jimmy says, pleasantly surprised by the Hiss tank since a lot of their figures are hit and miss, especially with QC. Yeah, they need to reel that in. They are really screwing the pooch with that. And they need to figure out what they want to do with the line. I mean, they got so many great characters, and they've had many iterations of it. I like that they do a retro line, but stop making the new figures look like the retro figures. Update them, make them look something new. Then do a Resolute line and do an Extreme line. Do a what's his name? Not Sergeant Rock, the Sergeant Savage line. I mean, do them all 6 inch, but do kind of like Masterverse is doing, where you have different iterations coming out. I think you could change up the figures a lot and do all kinds of cool stuff with them. But stop making, you know, what's his name? I can't think at the moment. Storm Shadow with gloves, and then a retro one without the gloves. It's the same damn figure. Why? Why? I don't get it. Make the Storm Shadow look updated and cool, and then have a retro looking one. I would buy both. Jeff Morris says, I would like that Baroness, but I don't want the twins, so I pass. Too expensive for me to get just one figure that I want. True. And who knows? Might show up at Ollie's or Ross next year. Get it then. But if you get your hands on it, I would highly recommend it. Hopefully they release a new Baroness with these same features, because I really like the figure. Jimmy says Kanacon. I looked it up and it seems sparse. Yeah, I think Valiverse would be the draw for that, and I mean I'd go, and I think a lot of other people would too, including vendors. I got a vendor friend here in town who I might talk to him about doing it if he's going if Valiverse is going to go. It if it doesn't fall through and they actually do go, then try to get him to do a booth there too. I think that's in North Florida. Canacon, on their Instagram page, it said it was in Augusta last August, or this past August. KinneCon is in Augusta. Yeah, date to be determined. I might be thinking of something Rise though. Else probably is what he meant. Yeah. Okay, next figure. Let's move to any Transformer fans. See, I collect a lot. This is why I can't soldier build. When I build soldiers, it's usually in twos. So if I can, I'll get like 2 soldiers to represent the soldiers. But my Transformers pick, only because I did not get the Ultra Magnus. Although I might have picked this one anyway, because I love Jazz. And this Jazz just looks awesome. From the Studio Series 86 line, from the movie, it just looks so good. And I hope they do all of the G1 figures in Studio Series, because they up their game, and it just looks so good when they do. Their Hot Rod was amazing. Their Ratchet and Ironhide, definite, uh, definite. I forgot what I was trying to say. Definitely good figures. Jimmy says probably not going to Jeff Fest, at least not on Friday. Maybe DFW. Only a 12-hour drive. Yeah, I'm probably not going to go to Jeff Fest this year. Not 100%. I'm not, but I might have work on the at that time, and most people aren't going to be there, so I don't know if I will make that drive, especially after what the guy did in the comments of, Michael French um, said a message or said something in a chat, and he put a laughing emoji, which was very unprofessional on his part to do that, and it just kind of it rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, really, dude? I don't know what all the drama was and stuff, and I mean, I know a little bit because I've watched 3POA and all that. I knew that Michael had an issue with him from the past, but his he's running a convention, a company. He's trying to, appease. It's like a celebrity going political. You cut in half your audience doing that. Don't do that. Don't if you don't like Michael, that's fine. Don't make a laughing emoji at his comment when he's talking about something. You don't have to agree with him, but have a little decency to be like, move on. And it's just, I don't know. We're too old for this kind of drama. I swear. Sometimes it's like children. I know we're playing with toys, but seriously, it's so stupid. The BS is also why I'm probably not going. Not a big 118, so no real reason without Falaverse. Yeah. Uh, any skill that makes me happy. Okay. Where we at? Let's see. I only have a few more figures. I'll tell you what. One of my big I want to say, let's see. One thing that I got this year that was a gift, not including this guy for my wife. That is awesome. Jason's in the house, says, "Hey, Drew G, Happy New Year." Happy New Year to you too, bud. I'm happy to have you here. What was I saying? I'm ADD. Sorry. Gift. One thing is, I've had some great people in this community that have like gifted me things, and it's hard to pick just one, because I mean, I've had stuff from Sal. Like, I bought a bunch of figures from Sal over this past year, being that Sal from 2 Cents Toys. If y'all don't know, that he's decided to sell off 98% of his collection to to put towards his future, his getting a new house in the future, and hopefully one day, you know, growing a family and everything. So I bought a bunch of stuff from him, but he also gifted me a lot of stuff, and I'm very appreciative of that. But so it was like, it's hard to not uh pick a lot of that stuff, but I I had Scott Hughes has gifted me a cool knife, and a box last year. Um, I've had other gifts too and stuff. I can't think of everything in the moment, but one that really was really exciting and I really enjoyed was, I went to Toylanta last year, or I guess you could say last March. Um, and I met up with Scott Hughes and Michael French, and Scott and Michael presented me with this castle right here. Now, I'm not sure that, unless you are a Patreon of Retro Blasting, he has a video that I think is just Patreon exclusive. I could be totally wrong about that, where he gets this castle and talks about how it scales perfectly with the Kenner Robin Hood line. It's from the BBC Robin Hood TV show. I don't have it over here because it's so big, and I have it on display. So, but it's on screen, and he showed how this was a missed opportunity for the Kenner line when it came out. And I was a big Robin Hood Prince of Thieves fan, and I was collecting all these figures and everything. And after he did that, I started searching for this castle, and I almost bought one and had George Aiken send it to me. Um, but I noticed in the picture that at the hinge here, it had a split, and so I told him to hold off on it. What I didn't know at the time, because this was on a Retrobusting live stream, and they presented this to me at Toylanta and gifted it to me, and it was I was just blown away. And so that would be considered probably my favorite 2023 gift to me from somebody else. So I thank you, Michael French, and I thank you, Scott Hughes. Um, well, this is it. What's this? Retro Blasting made that video public. That castle looks pretty awesome. Good. I'm glad everyone got to see that, because it's awesome. And I've seen it in person on his display, and it's perfect. That's very similar to how I have mine set up, although mine's opposite. Scott Hughes says it was all Michael's doing. Give him all the credit, but I did play a part in discouraging you from getting another lecture quality castle. Yes, you did, and I thank you so much, Scott Hughes. And I'm glad you were there to be a part of it. Um, you were there with me, and yes, Michael French, thank you so much. You'll probably never watch this video, but if you did, I am so very, very thankful to you for that. You're such an awesome guy. Um, I don't, LOL, yep. I don't know what that was toward, but I guess to him being an awesome guy, then yeah. I knew about it for about a month ahead. Yeah. Yeah, I was on that stream. You were discouraging me from it, man. I almost pulled that trigger, but then I saw the crack. I'm so glad there was a crack in the one that I saw. I mean, I hate it for whoever gets it and doesn't see it, but yeah, that was that was definitely a great moment for me. And Scott, if y'all are going back this year and I'm able to go, I would love to meet up with y'all again and go again. That would be awesome. I don't know what y'all's plans are this year, but sorry, I'm a little stuffy right now. Um, Another thing that I have two figures to represent uh this past year. What does he say? That's the plan? I hope so. Yes. Let me know what your plan is, because I would love to tag along and hang out with you guys again. It was awesome. Another 2023 great thing is when you get a lot of something, not not a lot, but I mean, I guess it is a lot, but when you go on eBay and you go looking for GI Joe lot, or a big haul. A haul would be a better word for it. For anyone that's watched any of my past videos, live streams, in episode 4, I bought for a really good price a huge Star Wars haul, a vintage 70s and early 80s figures, and some were some of the hardest to get figures and vehicles you could get. Not so much the vehicles, but the figures, definitely, with weapons. And some of them in that haul were the red stripped. I can't. Trying to get it. Come on. Don't look at me. Look at the robot. You can see the little red strip right here. The cheap version just has a white box. This version, a lot, goes for a lot more, and it was in that box. Now, granted, there are some fading which I don't care about, but there's a little tear there and a little tear up there, um, that may bring the value down a little bit, but I don't really collect for value. I don't mind having the value, and it is pretty cool to have something that I could one day be able to, you know, sell or gift to my children or to someone else. I don't know, that has monetary value. That is nice. I don't just have a collection of stuff that's worthless, you know. But it's not my personal prerogative. Like, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. I have none of the original Indiana Jones toys because they're so pricey. I'm not going to pay that much for that figure. Maybe one day, if I become very wealthy, I'll do that. But right now, I'm not doing that. Another one of the last 17 is the green lightsaber R2D2. Um, just representing from all three movies, the that I have gotten. I got a bunch of figures. Now, I don't have the whole line. They're right down there on both sides of these shelves. The two shelves below this and on the other side have all of my Star Wars figures. When I do there should be a YouTube short, minute long, that kind of goes through what I have. My minus the Dagobah, Yoda's hut from Dagobah, because I gave that to Tony, so that he could do he has something he's wanting to do, and he was looking for it, and I got all of this at a really good deal, so I was happy to forfeit that so that he could do that. Because that's what friends do. We hook each other up. We help each other. That's a great thing. It's weird. This figure, you know, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but just as an example, if I put this figure up for, well, I'm not sure exactly how much it is. Let's say it's worth 500. I probably wouldn't sell it for any less than 500, but I'd give it to Scott Hughes in a heartbeat, you know, for free, just because I'm not going to do that, Scott. Just be clear. But that's just the kind of way I am with these figures. If I'm going to sell it, I don't want it for any less than I can get it for. But at the same time, I have a friend in need, and I feel the urge. Yeah, like I did with that. That's a Nick pickup. Nice, I'm guessing. Nice pickup. Red bar R5D4. Yes, it was very cool. I had a. I said it was hypothetical. It's hypothetical. I'm not gonna do it, Scott. Now, if I got two of them, maybe. I actually have this lady that I know here in town. I say lady, she's around my age. Um, on my way. She just bought a house and was going on a farm and went out to her barn, her new barn, and up in the rafters was a whole C3PO case like I have with a bunch of figures in it, and one of them was that R5D4 with the red. I told her everyone was trying to buy them from her. I said, "Look, see if there's a little red bar on there," and she did. She sent me a picture. I said, "Congratulations, you just made a fortune." She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to show you all the figures so you can tell me." I said, "Yeah, don't just give those away or anything." So anyway, next up. Oh, I about forgot about this. I didn't even see it. Another pickup from another comic line outside of Marvel and DC that I picked up. I got recently is this She figure. I love this figure. Now it could definitely be better. Me. It could definitely be a better figure, but it is. I want to say it's by a company called Loose Collector, and this is all one piece and everything. Um, if you've never read the She comics, really good. Billy Tucci created her in the '90s. She was really big in the '90s. Kind of dipped down for a while, but she's made a real comeback through crowdfunding, Kickstarter, and Indiegogo. He's had 3 books and 2 omnibuses, and he's got all I want to say original comic line art Indiegogo on right now, which I might back because I've backed everything else. And the new comic series is awesome. It's like set 18, 20 years later, and she has a teenage daughter who I'm making a prediction is going to become the new She at some point. But very kick-ass character, has different weapons and stuff. She has a couple of other looks, and but not in toy form. I would love some of the other versions. A little pricey, I'd say around the $70 mark. Compared to other figures, kind of expensive for what you get, but I think it's a smaller company, so it is what it is. Highly recommend the comics though. Love the comics. Didn't much as a kid, as a teenager. Didn't really get into them because I didn't short on cash. I bought my Spider Mans, my Batmans, Superman, Captain America. Those are my 4 go tos. Oh, and X Men. That was the 5. So So that's what I went to every time. And every now and then if I had some extra money, I would get another issue of something else and try it out. But I never got a She comic. But now I love them. I've gone back and gotten most of the issues. I think I'm missing one issue of the original 13 series. So, um, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4 more to go. Oh, 5, if you count this. Speaking of comics, favorite comic pickup this year, Amazing Spider-Man 38. This probably in about a month ago. I picked this up from my comic store. He pulls it out and said, "Hey, do you want to buy this?" Got it for dirt cheap. And there's a reason. This thing is in perfect condition, in my opinion. I don't grade them, so except for one problem, and that is right here. If you zoom in, there's paper dissolving right there where it kind of flaked off and broke. But if you look at the rest of the comic, no cuts, no curves, no folds, little corner maybe, damage maybe. The comic itself is in great condition, and I got this for a steal. Other than that, um, yeah, it's just a great. I've always wanted to collect all the Spider-Man comics, and that's the earliest comic I've ever bought. I think the earliest one I have is like issue 98, and now I have 38. So, um, it was nice to have that. Jason says, "I remember that issue story." Yeah, I'm gonna go back and read them eventually. I always read my comics out of order, so I got what I had. Like if I bought an issue from that was released, let's say it was '93, and I would read what was coming out. Then I would go back and get an issue from '91, and then I'd read an issue from uh, '85. You know, so I was always reading them out of order and kind of, but I read them multiple times, so I would kind of piece it together what would have happened in it when I was younger. Right now, I'm going through all of the Mutant X-Men series um, via the comics I own, and I'm picking up the Marvel Unlimited app, and I'm going in chronological order, and that includes every aspect that comes together to make the X-Men. Sometimes that goes into the Spider-Man issues, into one-offs, into even so far as Captain Britain and other stuff, but just the stories, you know, that have these X-Men characters and where they come from. There's a website I follow, chronological order website, that kind of tells you what to read in what order, the best order of reading. I just follow that, and I'm up to X-Men or X Factor Annual 1 um in the 80s. So I'll go through that, and I'll probably get to around 2010, and then I'll drop off because everything after that turned to crap. Um give or take. Um it's just where I stop. I can't put up with the new stuff. So then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read all the Spider-Man issues again, and I'm just trying to collect them as before I get there. Anyway, okay, we're at 140. All right, let's see. Let's go to old Toddy Mac. And some of you can't stand Todd McFarlane figures, and I get it. I have my issues, and there's issues with this one, but I do think this is. Oh man, figure fell on this earlier and it scuffed it. Crap. Anyway, I do think this was the best figure he made this year, and that is the 89 Batman figure. I love this figure. It has very good articulation, even though the actual has better articulation than the actual suit had. I mean, in fact, he could have had no neck articulation at all and just like the movie does. But I mean, he has full head articulation, which takes away from the look, I think, with the neckline. But I think it works well. Cape's cloth. Only thing different I would have liked is maybe some wiring in it. That would have been nice. But I got mine with the Batmobile. Oh, hold on. Let me put that down. With the matte finish Batmobile. And yes, I have ordered the Ramen Toys upgrade kit that'll add the gas pumps, the fixed canopy, and I don't think I'll display it with the guns on this one, but I have the glossy one, and I'm getting the glossy version too, since I already bought it. I had bought it from Renato a while back. Actually, I didn't buy it from Renato. He had it on pre-order on Big Bad Toy Store, and it was sold out. And he told me about it, said he was going to cancel it if I wanted it. I could get on there as soon as he canceled it and pre-order it. So I did that, and I got it. And then I was a little disappointed in it when they came out with this one, but because this is the one I wanted. So now I have two. But I can't wait to display this with the fixes. But altogether, this was just an awesome, and $79 for this. $79 for a 7-inch figure, which I wish was 6-inch. I mean, that's basically what I paid for this. I got a Batmobile from one of my favorite movies, and the Batman from one of my favorite movies. There. What does it say? Don't you mean the only Batman that matters figure? Yeah. Scoob, I sent you a message a while ago. Greetings, just walked in the door, and it's Drew Live. Yes, I sent you a link. If you want to, I'm not going to be on for a terribly long time. I'm at 1:43. I could go 2.5 hours, but I was going to try to limit it to that. I don't want to go a 3-hour stream tonight. I was planning on going upstairs, watching something with the wife. We've been really into Reacher. We're into season 2. So, yeah, we're enjoying that. And I like spending time with my wife. So, we'll see. Doctor. Anyway, but yeah, Batmobile. I'll jump on another time. Thank you for the invite. No problem, Skib. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy. All right. Another category. This is something I had. This goes into childhood pickups. It's a vintage. It's something I played with a lot when I was younger that I recently was in Atlanta in Marietta. I think it's Marietta. And 2 Cents Toys. And I have what's going on here, Skua? It's Scott, Doctor. Ryan has never seen Spies Like Us. Anyway, Anyway, so I was up there and had the opportunity. I wanted to go in there, and I was kind of in a hurry. And the last time I'd been up there, I saw this figure and wanted to pick it up. But I passed on it and I think I got a Sergeant Slaughter mail away Sergeant Slaughter last time. It's been a while since I've been there. No, I feel like I got something since then. I can't remember. I'll have to go back on Instagram. But this line I don't have anything for, but I had a lot of when I was young. And they're so expensive to get nowadays that I just never picked it up. But this is one of the ones I had, and that is the the mask condor. Um, Now, what I didn't notice is one of the things are broke. I hate that. That's the second time I've done that. Actually, it's done it multiple times. Second time I've done it buying something there that I didn't inspect before I looked at it. I just bought it because I was so happy to get it. But there's a little scratch up on the paint and stuff. But overall, the figure, I mean, it looks good. So it's fine for what it is. I used to play these all the time when I was younger. I had the Gator, I had the 57 Chevy and the truck, uh, which I think are the same driver. But I love 57 Chevys. Why I like 57 Chevys actually. Uh, Scuba Pete says Second Chance Toys is always a great stop. It was. It was a little busy when I was there, which is good. I think they were buying a huge collection from somebody when I was there, so they were kind of preoccupied a lot. But it was a fun little stop. My wife was with me, so I had to kind of hurry. She's not really into this stuff, and she sat out in the car, and the service was bad there, so she couldn't really use her phone. So she was like, "Come on, hurry up!" So I had to go quick, but I ended up picking this up. So that would be my childhood pickup of the year for me. Um, Make sure I got everything else. Box figure, gift haul, 18th, like. All right, last two figures. And then I can just talk for a few minutes. Hurricane with Hondo McLean. Yes, Hondo. Hondo. Um, yeah, two lines that I wish I could, three lines I wish I could collect that the price of them has kept me from doing. That's the Indiana Jones, original Indiana Jones figures, Mask, and Dino Riders, which I have an incomplete pterodactyl Dino Rider. Um, Wish I'd had vintage toy shop near me. Closest one is like 2 hours away in Houston. Yeah. Um, Second Chance Toys is little over 2 hours for me. It's probably about 2 hours 15, 2 hour, 2.5 from me. So it's a good little drive. But sometimes I'm in that area, so I try to stop by there. Scuba and Scott will appreciate this. I last not last time I was there, but the there was a time, uh, probably early last year. I went 2023 early last year. I went and I called Michael up. Well, had texted him, messaged him, and to ask him where the hamburger place was that we all went and ate at. Um, and I ended up going back over there and sent a picture to Laser Pants. It says, "Oh, it's our place." He started laughing. Um, G Force Racing, good to see you, bud. Saying hey to all the crew. Always great to see everyone on. Scuba says, I grabbed a Sergeant Savage P40 Warhawk from Chance. Yeah, I saw that. That was very nice pickup. I would love to have that in my collection too. Ted says, thought my wallet, though my wallet is probably glad there isn't. Oh, from the vintage store. Yes. Yeah, it's great to make it an adventure. When you if you just have it next to you all the time, you just be going over there all the time. But when it's far enough away but within driving distance, you make it an adventure. And you know you're going up there to get something. So you have the money aside. You're not just going in there and just blowing your money. You know what you're like, okay, I'm going in there to find something. So Scott says you need to come to Greenville one afternoon. We can hit up the Toy Federation and Borderlands. Yeah, I need to do that sometime. I don't know how far of a drive you are from me. Probably about a 5-hour drive. You live in North Carolina or South Carolina? I can't remember. Greenville, South Carolina. That's South Carolina, isn't it? Greenville. And we just need to hit the lottery and then we can open vintage toy shops. 3 hours and 20 minutes. Okay. That's not as bad. Okay. Greenville, South Carolina. Yes. Very cool. Okay. As far as my figures go this year, I mean, I got a bunch of stuff that I really enjoyed getting, but there's one custom figure that I just really wanted to put in here because I'm really in love that I was able to make this. I've never really done much custom work, but that is using the Action Force. I made the Chris Pratt from Terminal List figure, and I know I've shown it on stream before, but not very good lighting for the with the hat. But his episode 3 look, I really was happy with getting with a little wash on it. I redid the gun with a little glue and stuff to try to match up with what he had the best way I could. So I did a lot of modding for the gun. Redid the vest to make it look more accurate to the way he was in this film. And then I did the Dremel on his head so I could put a Valaverse hat on him. And I think it turned out pretty well. So for customs, this one has been a definite favorite of mine, minus the next one I'm going to show you. But yeah, loved that figure. Excuse me. What is this? I have G-Force says I have 3 decent shops around 30 minutes away. I try to go sparingly. Yeah, I have a comic shop in Macon, Georgia. Uh, not the greatest place, but it is what it is. There's a comic shop in my town, but the guy that owns it is not really. He's not a comic guy. He's more of a card, baseball card and coin kind of guy. So he's not. He doesn't really know much about the comics, but he has collected them over the years. But he stopped because no one was buying the new ones anymore, obvious reasons. I even stopped buying them, but I buy a lot of back issues from him. So I get that. Every now and then he'll get someone bring in some action figures and stuff, and I'm able to pick up some stuff from him. So that's nice. Jamie Purvis says, Scott, is that Greenville RetroCon worth going to? I'm only 50 minutes from there. If you're 50 minutes from it, it's worth it. Cool. Nice custom. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, it was fun to do. I just used Valaverse and tried to match up with the I mean it's all Valaverse except for the Star Lord head I used from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Um it just worked. So yeah, if y'all wanted to do it, that's how you do it. Scott says yes. However, this past year they increased the price from 15 to 25, yet the size was approximately the same. The organizers are the owners of Toy Federation. I can't do the sound right. Um, the Toy Federation people are a little shady. I personally don't care for them. However, I tried to swallow my distaste in exchange for what they offer. Yeah, that's why I'm not 100% not going to Joe Fest, but 95% sure I'm not going to Joe Fest because the vendors, they're just trying to make some money at a show. But I agree with you, Scott. Ugh, yuck. Um, yeah. Ted says, unfortunately, that's just inflation. Everything is more expensive now except Valaverse. Yep. Wonder if it'll go down again if he goes uh, into stores. I know he's on Walmart.com, but if he were to able to go into stores, I wonder if that would change. Um, I don't think it would need to with everything he offers. The terminal list was great, fairly close to the actual novel. Cool. The author, Jack Carr's other books are great too. What do you think? Have you read any of the Reacher novels and how closely are they to the TV shows or the movies and stuff? I've really enjoyed season one of Reacher. Um, season two's not as good, but I think that's because everyone's on his level, and so it's just like a team up, which isn't bad. It's not. Uh, it's not a bad thing. It's just you don't have that standing out kind of way, other than that he's bigger. Um, but I'm. It says it's based on one of the books, and I looked online. It said like 29 books. I was like, good lord, that's a lot of books. And I'm guessing the first season was based on a different book, and I'm guessing the movies are two different other books. Um, which I love the Jack Reacher movie. The Jack Reacher 2 was all right. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Not nowhere as good as the first one though. Um, and I've heard that what's his name that plays Reacher in the TV show is more accurate to the book, but I've never read them, so I don't know. GeForce Racing says, "Did the neck peg match, or did you have to Dremel?" It matched. It matched. But Valaverse figures work well with most of the um, Hasbro figures. Not all of them, obviously, but the Marvel Legends they have. I think only recently have they started switching up stuff. And I'm wondering if that's like a dick move to mess with him or stuff, which I think is a horrible idea on their part. Just hurts them. Um, and the last figure isn't really the figure, but more of the face. And that's the Mark II Designs custom Drugy. I love my action figure. And if you ever get a chance, highly recommend it. I might would do it again and do like a facial expression or something, maybe a smirk or a yell face or something. But yeah, I love this. Now I have a series one vest on because it keeps popping off because it won't stay on. But yeah, Bobby, if you're watching, which I know you're not, you are welcome to use this beautiful face as one of your Action Force figures in the future. I give you permission because he just looks so good on the shelf next to everyone else. Okay, that was my conceited self. I can't help it. I love that figure. Mr. Dremel, wasn't he on Different Strokes? Sweet. A Reacher figure would be cool. Yeah. Of course, that would just be a Luke Cage with the obviously white skin and uh, with the, t-shirt. I don't know. The Atlas body might work if you can find a person to do maybe Spartan. Spartan, I forgot the name of him. Does a lot of head sculpts. Um, he might have one of. I cannot think of the actor's name, but he's played Aquaman in Smallville. He played uh, Hawk of Hawk and Dove in the Titans TV show. Um, he's got a new movie coming out with like something Angel or something, where he plays the dad of some little girl that needs medical care or something. It's supposed to be a heart touching film. I'm just glad to see him being a actor that's getting parts. I've heard he wants to play Batman really bad, but I think he would be a great Captain America. I just feel like he would be. He's got the look for Captain America, and he's got a great presence on screen too. Jimmy says Lee Child is a great author too. Reacher show is more loosely based on the novels, The new actor is Reacher, who is 6'5", 250 in the novels, not a 5'6", 150 Tom Cruise. Yeah, that's what I figured, and I think he does a great job. I did like Tom Cruise in that role, but if I had to choose, I would choose the new guy. Jeff says that is what the failed selfie series should have been. Yeah, I don't think they ever could have. Not could have. They just wouldn't have ever done that. Um, it it would cost too much for them to put that much effort in. They could afford it, and they could make money off of it, but they wouldn't do it. I mean, which doesn't make sense because I heard the selfie series figures were resin just like that one. So, and then the computer scans. I don't know. Not enough margin for them. Ted says the new season is awesome. So funny that Tom Cruise played him in the movie. New season is awesome. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was like awesome. So funny. I've brain ADD'd for a second. Yes, yeah. Seeing Tom Cruise playing the same guy it's kind of weird, but I mean it worked for the time, and it got Reacher into the mainstream, which I'm not sure. I mean, it could have been done later, but who knows, right, Jeff? Ted says when he kicks the car and makes the airbag go off. That was so cool. Yeah, we watched that last night. Um, that's what we did for New Year's. We watched the first 3 episodes of season 2, and we still got 4 and 5, and then uh, I don't know when the next episode drops. Jeff says, I do really like the Amazon Reacher show. Yes. I'm hoping it goes on. It was a long gap between the first season and the second season. I hope that doesn't happen again. But with the writer strike that happened this year and actor strike, probably is going to be a little while before Reacher season 3. I need to finish Invincible also. Everyone keeps talking about Invincible, and I didn't hate it. It was interesting. I didn't I didn't love it though. A little too gory for me. Um, I don't know. It's just me. It's weird. First season was all right. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Uh, Another show that took forever to get a second season. Um, but it is what it is. Um, yes, Alan Richson. Richson. Couldn't think of his name. Yeah, I can't say his name. Alan Richson. Yeah, I'm glad that he is getting parts now. Like, I mean, he's been working pretty steady from the early 2000s when he first came on the scene as a young Aquaman in Smallville. But seeing him, he's always been kind of like a featured actor in shows or a supporting actor. It's good to see him with a starring role because he's earned it and he's good. I enjoy his presence watching him. I'd watch other things with him in it. I actually want to see that new something Angel movie, just to see how he does in that. Plus, Hilary Swank's in it too. So I think it's the same people that did the. I think it's Angel Studios who did it, but I think it's called something Angel. It's the same people who did Sound of Freedom, which is a great movie if you haven't seen that. Tug at your heartstrings. Um, Jeff Morris, Hasbro should have made the selfie series a convention only thing so they could do real head scans. Isn't that what Mark II does? Exactly. Yes. Right on the money, Jeff. You were dead on the money. I love that. Yeah, it should have been they should have had a team going to conventions like Joe Fest or in any of these conventions all around the world promoting their products and doing the selfie series, scanning the heads, and then mailing them to you, just the way Mark II does. Um, if Mark II designs, if that's not too much of a hassle for him, which he knocked mine out quick, and he gave me two versions. I have one unpainted, which I've thought about painting, but I kind of like the idea of not having it there, uh, and I don't know how to paint it very well. But if he likes that, I feel like he should advertise that more because I think he would get a lot of business at conventions. The Tom Cruise movie was good. Were good, just didn't fit knowing the novels. See, I've never read the novels, so um, it's it's not that I don't like novels. It's just I read. Let me take that back. I read a lot, but I have I'm trying to read more, but I'm reading things that grow me as a person and not so much storytelling. I usually leave the movies and the TV shows and comics to entertainment. Although I know novels have good entertainment and everything to them, I appreciate what they are, but they're on the back burner of things that maybe one day I'll get around to reading some. Like I've been wanting to go back and read I have all the Indiana Jones book novels. I want to go back and read all of those. I just don't have the time because the things that I'm reading are like, you know, different, not I want to call self-help books, but they are kind of self-help books. They're growing me as a person. Um, and if they do um, other like audiobooks or something, that's I'm going to be able to listen to that a lot quicker than I would something else. But even then, I'm listening to self-help books, not self-help, self. growth books and leadership books and stuff like that. Um, more more so, but I appreciate them. That's why I want movies that are shorter frame but tell the same story. Don't make your own story. Tell me the story that's in the book. Yeah. Uh, sorry, I have a soapbox right here on my couch that I hop on every now and then. So I try to get off it quick. Too big. Ted says too big for Batman, but Captain America would be cool. Yeah, I don't think he'd be too big for Batman. Um, I don't think he would need the muscle suit as much because he's admitted to being on the juice. He had he has no uh, he doesn't keep that a secret. He has definitely done that for his parts and stuff. But I think he said he was like low in testosterone in his older age and with his workouts, and he's just able to bulk up quick like that with it. But he doesn't lie about it. He says it straight. But I don't know. I think he could pull Batman off pretty well. I just think he'd be better Captain America. The second Reach Tom Cruise movie was good. Okay, good. I haven't watched it in a long time. Probably go back and watch them pretty soon. Now that me and the wife are watching the series, she's never seen the other two, so she probably won't like them compared because you know what was his name? Alan Ritchson has his shirt off a lot in this TV show, and she's looking a little too hard. It's not going to be the same with Tom Cruise. She's not as big a Tom Cruise fan. She doesn't hate Tom Cruise, but she's no Alan Richardson. Anyway, season one, Jeff says season one of Invincible was decent. I got bored with season two, but we'll go back and give it a chance. Okay. Good to know. Ted says, I wish they had kept going with the live action Tick on Amazon. I really enjoyed that show. I've never seen the live action. I used to watch the cartoon when I was younger, whenever it came on. I don't know how old I was. I can't remember. Um, but I've never seen the live action, either one of them. Uh, Jimmy says, strictly audiobooks, lots of genres. I drive a lot. Yeah, if you drive a lot, audiobooks are perfect. Extreme Ownership. Have you read it? Yes. I think I own that book. That might be on my. Hold on. That just knocked over the Macho Man. It's upstairs. It's upstairs. If I haven't read it, it's on. It's in the stack to read. I can't remember, but I know I have that book. I'm trying to remember who wrote it. Um, I'm a slow reader. Usually takes me a month to get through a novel. Yeah, I'm a slow reader too. Sorry, guys. My wife will read a whole novel in a day sometimes. Yeah, I envy people like that. Jocko Willink and Leaf Bamman. Yeah, I want to say I got that one. I won't know unless I go upstairs, and I don't want to go upstairs just right now. But yeah, I was trying to think. I was just reading The One Thing and listening to Starts with Why. Starts with Why is a really good book. If you want a good book to read or listen to, Starts with Why. That is Really good uh, self-help leadership book. Um, but yeah, I knocked down Sting, Sean Connery, and Macho Man. Oh well. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what it is with StreamYards, but when I signed on last night, if y'all didn't know, um, Wilhelm and um, Largo's Lair were doing they do they stream together, so I have to pick which one I get on. But I was in the comments of I think Wilhelm's stream, and he sent me an invite, and I got on. I signed on to StreamYard, so I haven't streamed in probably a month and a half, and the it was like everything I had in my StreamYards deleted. Like none of the openings and closings. Like the closing I have tonight doesn't have the music because it's not there, and I can't find where I put it with the music. I have it, but it won't upload it because of the it's in MOV and not MP4 format, and I gotta transfer it to whatever. But I don't know, it just deleted it all after a while. It was very weird. So I had to put that back up on there and everything. But yeah, he invited me on the stream. I was on for like 15, 20 minutes, maybe, if that. Had a computer glitch, which God forbid hasn't happened yet. Um, but blacked out, kicked me out for a minute. I just sat here and listened to the stream until it finally came back on. StreamYards is free, but it's limited. Like I use the free. If I get monetized and actually, not that I request money from y'all or anything, but if I actually made some money in with YouTube, I'd probably invest that money into upgrading StreamYards to the better quality stuff, um, and pay for the stream per month thing because you get more features, more access to things, and yeah, it just I don't know. I won't know till I get there, but I'm not in a hurry. I enjoy talking with whoever can come on. I hope to grow it, and it would be nice to be monetized. But I'm not like sitting here going, "Hey, y'all send me super chats." You know, I'm not. I don't need that, but you know, no one needs it. They just enjoy having it. So, but yeah, I haven't done a stream just by myself in a long time. This is it's kind of weird, but I'm glad y'all are talking in the chat and everything, and I can communicate with you guys. But it is always great to have people on too. So with that, I'm gonna end the show because it's 2:19, about 2:20, 2 minutes and or 2 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes in. I appreciate you guys that have been watching. Definitely need to do another show soon. Might have some time in February to maybe one weekend be able to set something up. So we'll see, and I have to try to come up with a topic, and yeah, maybe have some cool guests on. And if I don't have a topic, then we'll just make one up. All right, guys, y'all have a great night, and I will talk to y'all later. Thank you. And no music, but here's the outro.